A terrible curse from a demon king is killing everything alive in the land. It spreads like poison, destroying forests, cities, and magical races. The curse should kill all humans too, but humans have disappeared long ago. Now, against all odds, a group of humans return from hiding. They are immune to the curse and fight the demons with strange, powerful weapons made from cursed parts. The people of the land watch in fear and hope as these chaotic humans challenge the curse itself. But the demon king notices their return and sends new monsters to destroy them. The humans and their allies must find a way to stop the curse and the demon king, risking everything to save the world. This story is full of danger, bravery, and the power of stubborn hope. The sky over Elderfall was dark and heavy, stained with the smoke of dying forests and broken homes. The curse was spreading again. Blackness crept like ink over the once bright land, turning green fields into ash and living trees into brittle skeletons. Maddox, an old elf scholar, stood on the highest tower of the diamond spire, his eyes fixed on the east where the cursed forest shriveled like a rotten fruit. Beside him hovered Thimble, his tiny assistant, a soft, glowing spirit that flickered with worry. "Another 100 acres lost this morning," she whispered, voice trembling like the wind. The barrier spell held less than 6 hours. Maddox's fingers clenched his ancient staff. "Our magic is failing. The curse grows stronger with each season." He looked down over the city walls, where guards patrolled nervously. The 5 great races of the realm, elves, dwarves, beastkin, sylphs, and giants, had fought for centuries, but they were losing ground. Entire cities and forests were falling to the curse's black reach. "If only the humans had survived," Thimble said softly. Maddox snorted. Humans. They were too weak, too reckless. They fell to the curse in the first wave, swept away like dust in the wind. But even as Maddox spoke, a low rumble shook the ground. Dust clouds rose on the southern road, the path long abandoned because it led into the heart of the Blightlands, where no living thing dared go. The city guards scrambled to the walls, notching arrows and calling spells. The rumble grew louder, turning into a roar. From the dust appeared terrifying shapes, hulking beasts, massive and fast, their bodies patched with shining metal plates that caught the faint light. Eyes glowed red with cursed fire, tusks flared and smoked. The leader rode a monstrous boar as large as a wagon, armored with demon bone and dark leather. His helmet was made from a twisted skull, his voice booming as he shouted, "Open the gates." The guard stared, frozen in disbelief. "Demons," one yelled. But these were not ordinary demons. The leader pulled off his helmet, revealing a human face, brown skin weathered by sun and wind, one eye glowing faint purple, the sides of her head shaved except for a sharp red mohawk. "We're the extinct ones," she said with a grin, sharp teeth flashing. "And we're here to fix your broken world." Maddox's breath caught. Humans. Alive. Riding cursed beasts like they were tame horses. The human woman, Zur, swung down from her hellbore and faced the city leaders. "Name's Zur," she said casually, cracking her knuckles. "Former monk, current demon puncher. You got a curse problem? We've got the answer." The gates remained closed as officials argued in panic. Zur's companion, a wiry man with a mechanical arm, gave the guards outside a quick demonstration. His cursed raptor leapt over the city wall with a single bound, knocking out the guards inside and forcing the gates to swing open. Within hours, the city buzzed with news: humans had returned. Immune to the curse, they fought demons with fierce weapons made from cursed bones and strange machines. Maddox pushed through the crowd to find Zur sharpening a blade made from a demon's vertebra. "How is this possible?" Maddox asked. "Where have you been hiding all these years?" "Deep underground," Zur said, eyes flicking with wild energy. "Demons don't like tight spaces. We've been surviving in the caves beneath the Blightlands, learning their tricks." Before Maddox could reply, a terrible roar shook the eastern quarter. A massive, twisted creature smashed through the magical barriers protecting the city. It was a behemoth, 20 feet tall, many-limbed, with a face shifting between horrible, tortured expressions. Its gaze turned defenders to stone. "That's one ugly bastard," Zur said with a grin, striding through the cursed black ichor surrounding the monster without hesitation. The black liquid sizzled against her boots, but she didn't flinch. The behemoth charged, swinging a fist bigger than Zur's whole body. She caught it with one hand. "I'm the holy fist of internal organ rearrangements," she said, punching it back. Her fist hit flesh, and a shock wave tore through the beast's body, leaving a bloody hole. Zur leapt on the creature like a jungle gym, plunging her arm deep into its chest. "Got it," she crowed, pulling out a beating, twisted heart the size of a wagon wheel. Her companions joined the fight, wielding cursed chainsaws, harpoons, and demon arms on sticks. They moved fearlessly through the cursed energy, striking blows with unnatural strength. Maddox watched in stunned silence. Later, Zur roasted the demon heart over a strange fire, the curse burning away in the heat. She offered a slice to Maddox. "Eat up, pointy ears." "Demon heart's good for longevity," Zur joked. Maddox hesitated, then bit into the dark meat. "How are you immune?" Thimble asked, hovering close. The wiry man with the mechanical arm shrugged. "Something about our biology. Stubbornness, maybe. Takes the curse longer to kill us." Zur nodded. "We're chaotic enough that the curse can't make us worse." Word spread quickly. Humans were no longer gone, they were the last hope. Elderfall's people whispered about the strange, wild humans who fought demons with fists and fire. But Zur's band wasn't just about fighting, they used cursed items as tools and weapons, turning the curse itself against its masters. They built machines powered by demon souls, rode beasts that should have killed them, and taught others how to use cursed tech. In weeks, the cursed lands around Elderfall receded. Fields began to heal, children played outside the walls, and hope stirred for the first time in generations. Yet Zur's gaze often turned toward the dark horizon of the Deadlands, the cursed heart of the realm where the demon king waited. They knew the king had noticed them. And he was angry. The war was just beginning. The days after the humans' arrival were filled with nervous energy. The city of Elderfall, once quiet and resigned to its slow death, now buzzed with the sounds of hammers, laughter, and strange machines. Zur and her team taught the 5 races how to use cursed energy without falling prey to it. They called their new weapons and tools, curse tech, strange devices that could twist the curse's terrible power into something useful. In the market square, Vami, the wild-haired engineer with goggles cracked from battle, showed children how to ride a strange machine called the sorcery. It looked like part motorcycle, part living beast, with wheels spinning without any visible power and a glowing, screaming demon face as its headlight. "This runs on demon essence," Vami explained proudly. "Best mileage you'll find in cursed lands." Children laughed, holding on tight as Vami bounced through the square on the glowing contraption. The elders watched, torn between fear and fascination. But not everyone welcomed the humans. Grainer Stonefist, the dwarven representative on the Elderfall Council, grumbled in the meeting hall. "These humans bring chaos. They break things, they break rules. They're reckless menaces." Yet no one argued to send the humans away. Their victories against demons and the ground they reclaimed spoke louder than words. "Better reckless than dead," muttered one elf quietly. Zur was never one for politics. She cared about punching demons and saving lives. When a massive behemoth attacked the city again, Zur's gang didn't hesitate. They charged straight into the monster's roaring path, their weapons glowing with curse energy and strange machines humming. The fight was brutal. The demon's many limbs flailed wildly, knocking buildings down and tossing defenders aside. But Zur and her friends moved with purpose and fury, hitting the beast's glowing weak points with perfect timing. Zur's bare fists smashed through cursed flesh, and each strike echoed like thunder. Behind her, Razum fought a twisted copy of himself, another evolved demon made to match the humans. His mechanical arm sparked as it crushed the cursed doppelganger's throat. They learn fast, he growled. Watching from the cliffside, a towering figure of smoke and bone observed the battle. It was not the Demon King himself, but his voice echoed like a storm through the air. Your resistance is temporary, it warned. Your immunity is an error we will fix. Back in Elder Fall, the council grew anxious. The Demon King's return was close. He has sent new monsters, the messenger gasped, barely alive, adapted to kill humans. Zur cracked her knuckles. Good. I was getting bored punching his minions. She smiled fiercely, ready to face whatever came next. At the camp on the edge of the Blightlands, Zur sat by the fire with Vammy. The cursed flames flickered oddly, purple and green, lighting up their tired faces. I wonder sometimes, Zur said quietly, staring into the fire, why we survive. Vammy laughed softly. Maybe the curse just hates us too much to kill us quickly. Zur smiled, but her eyes held a deeper pain. I was a monk once. I believed in peace and healing. When the curse destroyed our monastery, I prayed for help. Got nothing. So I stopped praying. I started punching. Vammy nodded. Sometimes the world needs a fist, not a prayer. The fire crackled as the wind shifted. A scout burst into camp, eyes wide with fear. Commanders. Huge energy signatures are coming through the Blightlands. Directed. Intelligent. Zur stood, shaking off fatigue. The Demon King has noticed us. The warning came too late. At Thornwick Pass, the humans and their allies fought a desperate battle. The Demon King's evolved generals unleashed wave after wave of monsters designed to kill humans. Zur smashed through a demon shaped like herself, a twisted mirror of her body made of living curse energy. They copy our moves, she shouted, striking again. But copying isn't the same as beating. Razum fought beside her, mechanical arm glowing with power, crushing the dark creature that matched him. Above the chaos, the Demon King's voice echoed, cold and cruel. Your immunity is weak. Your resistance is a flaw to be erased. Verami, bleeding but focused, called back, Hey Zur, the big bad is monologuing. Zur laughed. Let him talk. Keeps him busy. Then, in the distance, a slow, steady procession appeared. The people of Elder Fall, elves, dwarves, beastkin, sylves, giants, all marching toward the Deadlands. They carried no weapons. Instead, they held potted plants, musical instruments, children's toys, and long lengths of copper wire shining faintly in the cursed light. What is this madness? The Demon King's voice hissed. This, Zur said with a grin, is our plan. Insane as it sounds. Back in Elder Fall, Maddox and the council watched as Vammy's device hummed to life. The copper wire the people carried began to glow, completing a circuit powered not by magic or technology, but by something deeper, emotional resonance, the energy of hope, fear, and life itself. Thimble and her fellow sylves wove wind currents to strengthen the circuit, carrying the power through the air like a living thing. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the ground cracked open, and green shoots burst forth, growing fast, real plants, not cursed shadows. The corruption screamed in rage as the cleansing light spread, dissolving the curse's hold on the land. The Demon King's voice roared in fury and confusion. The curse was being undone. But the battle was far from over. Zur turned to her team. Time to pay the Demon King a visit. The War Council gathered around rough maps, showing the Deadlands, a black scar across the earth. The purification fields were strong but limited. They could clear only small paths through the cursed land. Zur laid out the plan: we push forward, building forward bases, small islands of life in the deadness. Protected by the resonance fields. Protected by us. One by one, the leaders of the 5 races pledged support. Even the stubborn dwarves and proud elves agreed. Maddox nodded thoughtfully. And the Demon King? Zur smiled grimly, pulling a cloth-wrapped object from her pack, a gauntlet shimmering with pure light and curse energy. The Mercy Knuckle. Made from cursed metal, purified through action. I'll hit him so hard it'll hurt his whole kingdom. The assault began. Forward bases rose from the dead earth. Supplies flowed through wind corridors. Zur and her immune humans rode strange mounts, clearing demons with fists and cursed tech. The Demon King did not wait. His armies attacked relentlessly, evolving new horrors to break their defenses. At the seventh outpost, close to the demon throne, the curse fought back fiercely. The air was thick with corruption, the fields flickered weakly. Vami adjusted the largest resonance amplifier. Too close to the source. It's fighting us. Zur clenched her fists. Then this is where we make our final stand. That night, the team built the Demon Express, a monstrous centipede-like vehicle powered by cursed energy, armored by dwarven skill. It would carry them straight to the demon throne. Dawn broke dim and sickly over the Deadlands. Zur strapped on the Mercy Knuckle, its light pulsing with her heartbeat. Maddox surprised them by joining the team. I've studied this curse longer than anyone. I want to help. You'll die if you touch cursed ground, Zur warned. I'll try not to. The Demon Express roared to life, legs pounding the cracked earth. It surged forward, tearing through blighted ruins and twisted beasts. Winged demons attacked from above, claws raking the vehicle's armor. The cabin shook with each blow, wards flashing weakly. Zur stood on the roof, bloodied but fierce. She baited the demons to attack her, punching them into dust with the Mercy Knuckle. As they neared the throne, the corruption grew so thick the vehicle nearly fell apart. Zur's immunity strained under the weight of the curse. But she smiled through the pain. Almost there. The Demon Express crashed through the final barrier, sending splinters of cursed stone flying. Zur jumped down, her boots landing hard on the cracked ground near the throne. Around her, the air was thick with the stench of decay and dark power. The Demon King awaited, seated on an obsidian throne carved from the bones of ancient beasts. He was not the monstrous horror Zur expected. Instead, he was tall and graceful, his skin smooth and black as polished stone. His eyes, however, were endless voids swirling with dark curse energy. The throne room stretched endlessly, walls made of fossilized demons frozen in silent screams. The king's voice was velvet over gravel as he spoke. You come all this way to die, human. Zur raised her fist, the Mercy Knuckle glowing fiercely. We're not dying today. He smiled, though there was no warmth in it. Your immunity is fading. The curse overwhelms you. Blood trickled from Zur's eyes and nose. Her companions struggled under tendrils of corruption that crept over their flesh like living vines. Only Zur stood free, her gauntlet blazing light to hold back the darkness. You think yourself a hero, the king snarled, his perfect face twisting as corruption warped his form. Limbs grew long and sharp, skin cracked, revealing black ichor beneath. Zur grunted, striking with the Mercy Knuckle. Each hit sent shockwaves through the cursed king, unraveling parts of his monstrous body. The throne room cracked and warped, glimpses of other dark worlds bleeding through the breaks in reality. Maddox, shielded by his fading barrier, shouted, the throne anchors him to this realm. Destroy it. Zur nodded, dodging a deadly slash. Razum fired a cursed weapon, staggering the king. Zur leapt past him, driving the Mercy Knuckle into the obsidian throne. Light poured from the point of impact, glowing veins spreading across the throne's surface. The king roared, lunging too late to stop it. Heal, Zur whispered. The throne shattered, and the curse energy burst out like black blood, swirling upward and vanishing into the cracks in reality. The king screamed, his perfect form dissolving into smoke and bone. The corruption binding Zur's friends dissolved, and Maddox's barrier finally fell. The throne chamber collapsed as the energy drained away. Outside, Zur fell to her knees, exhausted and bleeding. Did we win? Vami helped her sit up. The curse is still here. But it's no longer alive. No more will behind it. Zur coughed. Great. Because I'm all out of punches. The ground beyond the deadlands showed green shoots. The curse no longer spread. The battle was won, but the land needed time to heal. 6 months later, Elderfall was reborn. Markets bustled, and humans walked openly among the 5 races. Zur ran a bakery and tavern called The Last Punch, where all gathered to share stories, food, and music. An elf brought a cursed music box to be fixed. When it played again, a haunting melody filled the tavern, a reminder of the world before the curse. Maddox smiled as he watched Zur serve her friends. 6 months ago, you were punching demon kings. Now you're breaking bread. Zur laughed softly. Sometimes healing hurts. Sometimes it doesn't. Outside, the world was still scarred but no longer dying. The 6 races stood stronger together, ready for the long road ahead. The peace in Elderfall was fragile. The curse, though silent, remained in the land like a wound waiting to reopen. Zur knew better than anyone that danger was never far behind. Beneath the city, hidden workshops buzzed with strange machines, cursed parts repurposed into tools, weapons, and devices that hummed with dark energy yet brought light to their world. Zur's bakery tavern, The Last Punch, had become a hub not just for food and drink, but for planning, sharing knowledge, and healing old wounds between the 6 races. The air smelled of fresh bread mixed with brimstone, an odd but comforting blend. One evening, as the tavern filled with laughter and music, a group of explorers returned from the outer cursed lands. Their faces were tired, their clothes torn, but their eyes burned with hope. We found something, one of them said. An ancient forge, deep in the deadlands. Still warm. Still working. Zur raised an eyebrow. Working? How? It's powered by curse energy, another explained. But controlled, tamed. It could rebuild what we lost. The news sparked excitement and fear. Could they use the curse itself to rebuild the world? Or would they awaken a danger even greater than before? Meanwhile, in the shadowed halls beneath Elderfall, Razum worked tirelessly on his mechanical arm, upgrading it with cursed tech and dwarven craft. His daughter, part beastkin, part human, slept peacefully nearby, a symbol of hope born from war. Vami, ever restless, pushed the limits of her cursed machines, designing new vehicles and devices to explore and protect their world. But Zur's thoughts often drifted back to the Mercy Knuckle, hanging dormant on the wall. It had saved them all, but at a great cost. She wondered if it still held some power, waiting for the day it might be needed again. Outside, the once blackened lands showed slow signs of recovery. Trees grew green shoots, rivers ran clearer, and animals cautiously returned. The 6 races worked together, healing not just the earth, but old divisions between them. Yet beneath the surface, whispers of a darker threat began to stir. Something ancient, older than the Demon King, waiting for a chance to rise. Zur felt it in her bones, a storm was coming. The curse might be broken, but the world was far from safe. As the tavern's music played on, Zur smiled quietly. She had fought demons, saved a dying world, and helped rebuild it. But the fight was never truly over. Sometimes, healing meant preparing for the next battle. Months turned into seasons, and the world slowly healed. Elderfall blossomed into a city of light and laughter, where once the shadow of death had hung heavy. The 6 races, bound by shared struggle, forged new bonds of trust and friendship. Zur's bakery tavern became a symbol of hope, a place where stories were told, songs were sung, and futures were dreamed. But beneath the joyful surface, Zur knew the true battle had only just begun. The curse's remnants still pulsed in the earth like a heartbeat, silent, but never truly gone. The Demon King's defeat was a victory, but the darkness that had spawned him lingered, waiting for its moment. One night, as stars shimmered over Elderfall, Zur stood on the balcony of the last punch. The mercy knuckle rested on the table beside her, dull but still heavy with meaning. Her eyes scanned the horizon, where the deadland stretched like a scar. Vammy joined her, wiping grease from her hands. You think it'll come back? Zur shrugged. It always does. But we'll be ready. We're humans. We don't quit. Below, the city pulsed with life, children playing, traders bargaining, artists painting. The cursed fire had turned to embers, but its glow had left something behind, the stubborn spark of life. In the workshops beneath the city, machines hummed and blinked. Researchers and engineers, elves and dwarves, beastkin and humans, worked side by side, crafting new tools to protect and restore their world. They called it renewable apocalypse, power drawn from curse energy, controlled and contained. Maddox appeared beside Zur, his ancient face softening. You've changed the course of history, he said. Zur smiled, tired but fierce. We just punched it a few times. The night deepened, but the city did not sleep. Songs drifted from taverns, laughter echoed through the streets, and the impossible had become reality. The curse no longer ruled. Life, chaotic and stubborn, had won. And humanity, wild, unpredictable, and fierce, was its beating heart.